Well, I was asked to portray Professor Wheelwright, and the moment my agent let me know about it, I jumped at it because I liked the show, and I'd read the script and I really liked the role. It was something fun to do, kind of sort of half Halloween, and Wheelwright's fun, the professor, because he's sort of an angry nerd, and the nerd herd, of course, rules on Chuck. When the rewrites came to my house, it was over Labor Day, and I had a bunch of kids from a college reunion, my niece and all of her friends down for the holiday, and the script was delivered to the door, and one of them picked it up. And they said, "Oh, you're doing Chuck," and my stock immediately rose, with all of my house guests. So that was kind of cool. Well, I think in the classic menu or ingredient, Dr. Wheelwright, Professor Wheelwright, is a pretty classical mad scientist. He has a nice little arc. And as I said earlier, he's a very angry nerd, and he's developed a nerve gas that he's trying to peddle. And we discover him in Russia, and then he winds up at Bymore on Halloween. So there's a lot of fun to that arc, but it's fun to play because he's not a superhero or a supervillain. He's sort of a weak little scientist, but he sort of tested the nerve gas on himself, so he has no fear anymore. He's kind of relentless and ruthless in his designs. It's great. In fact, I'm behind on my tweets. I've got to tell everybody that I've been cold-cocked by Sarah Connor, Linda. And Linda's great. We spent all day today running and gunning, as we say. We actors say, Linda was just shooting everybody, and I'm the cowering little scientist, and she's using me as a human shield as she fights her way out of a cafe scene. And Zach's terrific. It's kind of hard to work with Zach because he keeps it so fresh, and he's the star. He's allowed to ad lib and go off book, and improvise. And it's actors love to be fresh for every scene and every angle, but it's also hard to keep a straight face. And I'm working on a real character here that's a little different than Robert, and I'm kind of committed physically to this character, and he'll pull a quip out of left field on me every once in a while, and I go down. I've lost it twice now. I think I've ruined 2 takes already. Zach's got me laughing, but most of it he's saved for off camera, so I'm lucky. I'm lucky. Well, I have a pat saying, where I tend to leave Halloween to the amateurs, but I'm in demand at Halloween. It's a very lucrative time of year for yours truly. I'm off to, I think, Orlando for this Halloween. I have to be careful. I always have to have a house sitter if I'm out of town doing a personal appearance or something, because the neighborhood kids hit Freddie's house. They always go after my house. And one year there was a giant paraffin claw, with melted wax in front of my place, and I think it took me about 6 months to finally get all the pieces of that scraped up off my little walkway is made of brick, and it's real porous. It's like scraping wax for 6 months. But no, Halloween. I remember as a child. I think one of my worst traumas was I had very liberal parents, and they dressed me up as Fidel Castro one year and sent me out trick or treating. I think that's about the worst Halloween I've ever had. You can imagine an 8-year-old kid with a beard on, trick or treat,